Is ISO another fun and creative setting on the camera? Or is it something scary that threatens to destroy your pictures? Let's get into it. Hi, my name is Urban Anjar and this is Photography 101, the free photo course for beginners. And today we are going to discuss ISO. We have been talking about aperture and shutter speed, and now we have ISO, which is like an amplification. You turn up the volume. And is it fun and creative? Maybe not in itself, but it helps you to come home with images from places that you may have thought were impossible for photography. And it enables you to choose your aperture and shutter speed more freely. There is a scale for ISO 2, similar to the ones for aperture and shutter speed. And it begins with a base value. Your camera has a base ISO. That's the lowest one with a number. There is an L to that I don't think anybody uses, but the lowest with a number. It could be 100, it could be 160 or 200 on different cameras and brands. And the steps on the scale is halves and doubles, like the scales for shutter speed and aperture. But here, the higher the value, the more amplification you get. And you have to get a balance between shutter speed, ISO and aperture to get pictures that aren't too dark or too light. What ISO does is that it enables you, if you want to have a short shutter speed to avoid camera shake, you can do that by raising ISO a bit. And if you want a long depth of field, you can have that by raising ISO. And there are times when you cannot use a flash. You may have forgot it at home. You may not have bought any flash, or it may not be allowed or is inconvenient to use in just that location. So you can shoot indoors with a little bit of ISO, and you can shoot at night and in dark pubs and on music festivals. You need to raise the ISO to make those pictures. Should you use ISO to put your lens on its sweet spot? Well, I doubt that. Raising ISO may not be the way to perfection. But if 5.6 or 8 is your favorite f-stop, you can continue to use it on an overcast day. Just turn up the ISO a couple of steps. The trade-off with ISO is that the higher ISO you choose, the more noise you get. You get random dots in the picture. And the least noise you get at the base ISO. And probably you cannot even see it if you raise to 400 or 800 or something. But then you may see some noise. But it differs from camera to camera, and the newer cameras tend to be really good. And the really old one, I mean from the beginning of digital age, were pretty bad at high ISO. So is it scary? Well, this is made with a pretty high ISO. Can you see the noise? Well, if you pixel peep it's easy to see. Was it better before with film? Well, with film you could use a film with a higher ISO. But of course you cannot just turn the knob on the camera. You have to use the same film for the whole roll. And then you can make some voodoo while developing the film to raise ISO even more. And this is an analog picture, the same subject but another occasion. Well, you can pixel peep analog picture, but you can look closer to it, and then you see the film grain. So this is digitally uncool, and this is film cool. Well, I don't know. No one who isn't a photographer will ever look at the picture in this way. So I think both are pretty okay. Okay, there are times when you should turn ISO up, and maybe sometimes when you should avoid it. If you've got enough light anyway, in a sunny day maybe, you should of course not raise ISO. If you're really pedantic with some pictures, you need to get the best, then avoid turning ISO up. If you're in a studio, you can get all the light you want, so why you raise ISO? If you're on a tripod and a static subject, then why turn ISO up? You can choose a longer time instead. But there are other occasions. In low light, you have got a story to tell, and the story is more important than perfection in the images. You're on a reportage, you're shooting street photo, action, sports. Raise ISO as much as you need. I think it's a no-brainer in many cases, indoors, on an overcast day, in the evening and night, in candlelight. But remember to set it back. I've done that mistake. You haven't to do it again and again. So if you're getting out from the dark environment, out in the sunlight, turn ISO down again. And you have to try to know your camera and yourself. How much can you raise ISO before it gets unusable? Okay, thank you for watching. That was everything for today. And to see you in another one. Bye.